Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good day. You're hurting hippie here, and it is Tuesday for me. I'm not sure what it is for you, but I hope this finds you well. Welcome to my Christmas then and now. I've been struggling for subject matter, and then I realized it's been a year since I talked about Christmas. I might as well talk about it because it is kind of unusual in our family. So let's get at her. My friends, what's Christmas mean to the Birch household? There we go into a very deep history because, I'm almost 60 years old. Christmas growing up was a really, really magical time. We were raised as a Protestant, went to a United Church. My dad, who at one time when he was young was studying to be a monk, believed in God, but didn't believe real strongly in the institution of religion. It had shied him away, but he wanted us to know. So in very young years, Christmas was a celebration of the birth of Jesus. It was taking some scripture. It was beautiful from what I can remember, where we would sit around the fire on Christmas Eve. We never opened gifts before Christmas, and we would go to bed at night and we would think of Santa, and we'd wake up in the morning and there was already gifts under the tree before we went to bed, but we'd wake up and there'd be more. And some of them were unwrapped and from Santa. It was a magical time. So of course, as I started having my own kids, I wanted to have the same. But therein lays the rub. Once you become a grown-up, you can't have exactly the same Christmas unless you marry somebody that had the exact same Christmas and wants to continue the tradition. But also, I gotta say, as I grew up, we stopped going to church. Dad figured we learned enough in Sunday school, and that's all he wanted, to give us a base to carry through our lives, and we could decide whether we believe or not. And the tradition remained the same. Singing Christmas carols, sitting around the fire, having marshmallows at night, waking up to unwrapped gifts from Santa. And then, of course, time came around when we didn't believe in Santa anymore, and those unwrapped gifts started to disappear, and the tradition started to drop off. We have 4 kids in the family. Myself, my sister, my other sister, and my brother, and only about 5 years between us all. So things changed rather quickly. I moved out of the house by the time I was 16 years old, and by the time I was 19, I was having Christmas with my wife and my baby. 20. Anyways, doesn't matter. Then my second round of Christmases that's the best way to put it. My second round of Christmases was with my first wife, Sue. And we had 3 kids. She grew up Seventh-day Adventist. They did Christmas a little differently. They unwrapped gifts on Christmas Eve, and on Christmas Day was spent at church. So to modify, we would open 1 gift each on Christmas Eve, which I really didn't like doing because it meant buying another gift. Anyways, we would open before Christmas, and then we'd still do my Christmas morning with gifts that were unwrapped from Santa. Let the kids play with that. Then we'd all open the gifts that were regularly under the tree since weeks before Christmas. and sometimes days. And then we go on with a breakfast, and always, all through my life, it's been Christmas has been meant a big turkey. So, of course, Christmas morning, you start working on that. Fast forward to 5 or 6 years, and I'm 25, 26. Christmas is changing. I'm no longer married, 3 young kids. Christmas went back because they lived with me. Christmas went back to the way things used to be. No opening gifts at night. Christmas morning, unwrapped gifts, wrapped gifts, turkey, all that stuff. I did my best to continue my tradition. And often I would invite, I think I'm trying to remember, so bear with me. I believe every second Christmas was mine and then was hers. And I've got a really good story of a broken Christmas during a broken time that turned out to be maybe our most beautiful. It was the year after I had broke my neck. I was starting to go back to school. I was in college. So the kids were living with their mother. There was a 1-year term where they lived with her instead of me. And they were living with her. That's a long story and for another time. But I lived half a block away in an apartment building. And I'm not going to get into why, but I was over there an awful lot helping with the kids, making sure they weren't alone. Let's leave it there. It was their mother's Christmas with them. And it was a difficult Christmas. I had no money. I had no work. I was going to school. I was trying to make it by. The tree that we had, although big, was laden with very sparse gifts. It was a tough time. And me and my ex were getting along really well, so I was over there on Christmas Eve. And this story always brings a little bit of emotion because we were so worried that Christmas, we couldn't shop anymore and we couldn't shop any less because we didn't have much. And there was almost nothing under the trees. We had a few things hidden for Christmas morning. And then there was a ring at the doorbell. And we sent my oldest daughter, who at that time was 8, to the door. There was a little bit of noise, but we were busy. We just didn't pay attention. Then our daughter runs in and says, Mom, Dad, you guys see, Jesus was here. Jesus. I'm not going to cut that out. It still just raises such... We go running to the door, and whoever it was gone. But she described him as a long-haired person with a big beard who just said, "Much love, Merry Christmas, this is for you." And there was 2 really big green or black garbage bags. Well, we dragged them into the house. No idea where this came from or who it was. And in it was a suit that perfectly fit me. Toys for our kids. Easily 4 or 5 gifts for each one of us. It may go down as one of... Ooh, boy. A coffee, okay? It may go down as one of my best Christmases yet, even though we were separated. It reminded the kids that God works in mysterious ways. Now, I gotta just stop for a second. I know some of you don't believe in God, some of you do believe in God, and those who do believe in God, are varied in how their belief is portrayed in their lives. And I'm not going to step on any of it. I am not a deep believer in religion, but I am spiritual. I believe there is some overarching power out there. And how to describe that to children? God is a good way to describe that. And as my kids grew older, I did what my dad did. I sent them to Sunday school so they had a base. I taught the Sunday school, and then when they were bored, removed them from it. They all practice their beliefs differently now, and that's good because you have to practice what's in your heart. So let's move on, because we're long in the tooth, and that was Christmas then. But then, yes, things changed yet again because my kids grew up, they moved out. Christmas became quiet for a couple of years, and then, in fact, Christmas became a time that, because I moved to Calgary, that the kids all went to see their mom in Edmonton. And I often spent my Christmases alone. I was okay with that because they were grown up. And then I met a new lady, and we had a new baby, and we started our own tradition. Somewhat changed, because what's Christmas mean to this family? Very, very different. She's from a Russian household. So she grew up, Christmas was, December 25 wasn't Christmas. December 25 was what they called Western Christmas. People just got together, they'd put a little branch of a pine tree near their window and a couple of lights on it. And they would go maybe on Christmas Day to church. But really it meant nothing to them. Their Christmas, their celebration of gifts and parties and family is December 31, January 1, the New Year. The Western New Year is where they go absolutely crazy and give gifts and everything. Their Christmas is more January 6th, 7th. I believe it's the 6th and 7th. And that is just simply a religious holiday where they go to church, where they do what they need to do. They're very religious people, and it has nothing to do with gifts. So melding those two traditions into our lives meant, while we were together, for the few years we were together, meant Christmas was kind of a big deal. But so again was January 31st, and we had to kind of mix the presents between the two, December 31, New Year. So we ended up with two major celebrations for a few years. Now that we're separated, it works out really good. Every Christmas, Pasha's with me because she doesn't celebrate it. Every New Year, Pasha's with her because I don't really celebrate the New Year. And that's a whole other story. Friends, I think we're at the end. I think we've done my Christmas then and now. This year will be, Pasha will spend Christmas week with me. We will not open a gift on Christmas Eve, but we will watch our shows like The Grinch and Elf and all those things. We'll watch whatever Christmas shows he wants, but The Grinch is a must. And Christmas Day will be, as normal, a few gifts unwrapped from Santa, even though Pasha's of the age that he doesn't believe anymore. It'll probably be the last year he gets a Santa gift. Actually, he may not even get one this year because I don't know how to work it, and stay tuned, we'll find out. But then on New Year's, he'll go over to his mom's. And then school will start back up. Friends, we're on to I've got some interesting little known facts today. I've got 3 from the book. We're halfway through this book. Not bad, my friends. Some interesting ones. I'll just watch for images because I'm not sure which images or where I'll put them. And here we go. Beyond lifting images off pages of the Sunday Funnies, Silly Putty, yes, Silly Putty, has been used by pilots as earplugs, secretaries to clean typewriter keys, athletes who squeeze it to strengthen their grip, dry cleaners as a method to remove lint from clothing, restaurants beats a matchbook for leveling the legs of a wobbly table, astronauts even to keep tools fastened down during weightlessness, and zookeepers as a means of casting gorilla footprints needed for identification records. Silly Putty. What a silly thing, and how many uses. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Next. In the late 1980s, there was a worldwide whoopee cushion shortage. Rubber manufacturers in the Far East who made the classic gag had to devote their entire workforce to the production of surgical gloves and condoms in order to meet the increased demand created by the AIDS crisis. As a result, for approximately 2 years, there was no time left for making whoopee. Oh my goodness, you're kidding me. And Tinker Toy was invented by a tombstone designer and salesman. Yes, who decided to try his hand at toy making when he noticed how much fun his own children had sticking pencils into empty spools of thread, then haphazardly assembling them using all sorts of abstract forms. And there was born the Tinker Toy. You heard it here. First, best, last, I'm not sure. But you heard it here. Happy Tuesday. Happy week to you all. Share below. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Love you all. Peace and cheers.